Hey guys, welcome to Wrenchin. My name is Ben, and today I'm wrenching on my 1994 Chevy K1500. I'm having some voltage issues, so I'm going to be testing the battery as well as replacing the battery terminals. So this will be a quick video. I'm just going to show how to use this battery tester. So to get started, I'm going to pop the hood. Battery's right over here. So the reason I decided to replace the battery terminals, these are a little old, a little rusty, and one of them is painted over. So I don't really get a great connection off of this negative terminal. And with the voltage issues, I know that these are cheap. They're worth replacing, even if they don't look terrible. And to use the battery tester, I want to be able to disconnect the power cables from the battery in order to test it properly, and also to charge it. So I'm going to use a battery charger, charge it, and test it again. So one way to be able to use this while having the cables disconnected is to just buy new posts, put those in before I put them into the cable, and that way I've got these sticking out of the battery with the cables disconnected, and I can test it properly. So all we need to take those off is an 8mm socket. I'm going to disconnect the negative terminal first, and then the positive. And with both of those disconnected, I can put the new posts in. This is Dorman part number 60307. These are the same style that go into my battery cables, and I can replace those, and I'll show you how to do that later. So I'll just put one of these in each side. Next, I can take the battery tester and hook the black cable up to the negative and the red cable up to the positive. So once that's hooked up and the battery tester is powered up, it shows that it recognizes a 12-volt battery. So I'm going to hit OK. It's going to ask me for the cold cranking amps of the battery. That is located right here. It shows 600 cold cranking amps. So I'm going to plug that in. We'll set that to 600 and hit OK. And the battery tester shows that it's reading 12.25 volts on this battery. It shows that it's a poor battery. When I hit the arrows up, it also shows that the strength of charge is 41%, which is also poor. And the cold cranking amps are testing at 270, so we should be at 600. So all of this indicates that I have a poor battery. I can also verify the voltage that the battery tester is reading by using a multimeter. I set it to 20 volts. DC, and I'll hook the black lead onto the negative post of the battery and the red lead to the positive post of the battery. And with those connected, we can see that the voltage reads just about the same. It's a very small margin of difference, so we know that the battery tester is reading the voltage correctly. So all of the testing does indicate that we have a poor battery. I've got a sticker on here that says 221, meaning that this battery was new in February of 2021, which was a little over 3 years ago. Batteries typically last only a few years. Sometimes you can get 5 years out of them or more, depending on how well you take care of your battery. But this truck's relatively new to me. I don't know how well the previous owner took care of this truck, and so everything indicates to me that the battery just needs replaced. This battery tester is made by King Bolin. I'm going to link this in the description, as well as the new posts that I put on. The voltmeter that I used to test the voltage from the battery tester, as well as this super inexpensive battery charger. The last thing I'm going to try is to charge the battery using this battery charger. It was also pretty inexpensive. So we'll charge the battery and then test it again and see if we have any improvement. But my tests indicate that this battery is probably bad and needs replaced. So we'll try to charge it first and see what the tests look like after we charge it. So I would recommend that you take off the battery cables if you're going to charge the battery. But once you've got the cables disconnected, you can attach the negative and the positive. With the charger connected to the battery, we can plug it in. And with this charger, we just want to make sure it's on car 12 volts. So once it's connected properly and it starts charging, there will be a bunch of numbers that flash on the screen. This bar will fill up, and we'll just let it sit until it's finished. And once it is, I'll show you what it looks like. I let it sit overnight, and as you can see, it shows that the battery is fully charged. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this. Using a multimeter, I can check the voltage again and see that it's in a good range. So we'll go ahead and use the battery tester again and see what the cold cranking amps look like. Cold cranking amps showing 168, which is definitely bad news. So once it's fully charged, the voltage is good, but the cold cranking amps actually went down, which is kind of surprising to me. But that to me indicates that what you see on this screen is true. It's a poor battery. So it is showing 13 volts. It's a little bit different than what we got on the multimeter. Strength of charge is up to 98%, which is good news. So I could continue to use this battery and just maintain it by keeping it charged. I do take short trips in this truck, which is probably the cause of the low strength of charge. But the most concerning thing to me is the low cold cranking amps. It's summer right now, so it's not a big deal, but definitely before winter, I would want to replace this battery. So I like this battery tester. I'll link it in the description along with the new battery posts for a side post battery that I've got here and the battery charger that I used. I got all of these on Amazon and they were all relatively cheap. I'm able to use this battery and it's able to start the truck and run, but the problem that I was having is with the accessories. So anytime I'd turn on any accessories, the voltage would go down, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here's the problem I have with low voltage. The voltage looks fine when it's running and idling, but as soon as I put it in drive and I turn on any accessories, so I'll turn on the blower, the radio, and the headlights, you can see the voltage starts dropping quite a bit. And I haven't been able to pinpoint if that's due to the bad battery or an alternator, and I'm not as informed on how to test an alternator, but that battery tester at least let me diagnose the battery and find out that that's definitely not helping the case. So possible I still have a bad alternator also, but obviously this low voltage problem, I'd like to get it solved. So once I turn all the accessories back off, the voltage is back up where it should be. Could be the alternator, could just be the bad battery, but we have diagnosed that we actually do have a poor battery. The last thing I want to show in this video is how to replace the posts for the battery cables. I got these relatively cheap, and as I showed before, mine are pretty rusted. So we'll just disconnect both of these cables, and these should just push right out the back. So there we go. While I've got this out, I'm gonna brush this off with a wire brush since this is pretty rusted. And I'll do the same with the negative terminal. Just pop this out the back and use the wire brush and clean up this surface. All right, then I'll put the new bolts in the same way the old ones came out, just pop them in the back. You can use a set of pliers if it helps. There we go. And I'll do the same with the negative terminal. And there we go, new battery terminals. And as I tighten these down, it'll cinch that bolt down into the battery cable a little bit better if it's not all the way in there. So you just want to make sure the connection's good. And the terminals look flush and they're not crooked. So that looks pretty good. Alright, so that is how you use a battery tester and battery charger to diagnose and charge your battery. This will work for any car, but I just wanted to show you on my truck since I was having voltage issues and I knew it was likely either the battery or the alternator. Now that the battery's fully charged, I'm going to go ahead and take the truck to AutoZone and have them test the alternator. They can get an accurate testing with a charged battery a lot better. So that'll give me an idea if the alternator's bad too, and I can see if I need to replace that. But that is how you diagnose and charge your battery. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.